Hello, welcome back to Courtney Squared. It has been a little while.
Yes, we do tend to seem to go MIA for chunks of time, both with Courtney Squared and just with each other as friends. But all for, I would actually say, really good reason.
Yeah, well, yeah. I think, we live in the same state now, so you'd think we'd catch up more, but...
somehow we're just busier, I think, as a result.
Yeah, it's still, life, right?
Yeah.
But this episode, our last couple of episodes were on Courtney's endometriosis.
Yes.
So this episode will just be a little bit of a life update for Courtney. Courtney. So where we left off, you just had endo surgery.
Yes.
You're still in the recovery. Very early in the recovery.
Yeah.
What has been happening? So it's been 5 months since then?
Yes. Literally almost to the day.
Yeah.
Sorry, I have to count on my fingers. So essentially surgery was super successful as far as endo went, as we touched on, because I think our last episode I was about to go get my results or similar. As we had mentioned in our episodes, it was stage 4, but they got it all out. Business as usual. I did have a few setbacks with, wounds not healing properly, Courtney coming to my rescue with antibiotics, and that's a funny story in itself. But, I did unfortunately have, which is just very common in the female reproductive system, I had some cysts emerge. I think it was only 4 weeks post-op. One of them ruptured. It was horrendous and very uncomfortable, but got through that. I have recently been diagnosed as well with adenomyosis, which they didn't detect in the surgery, which is really interesting and bizarre that it's all come on so quickly. But essentially it comes hand in hand with endo, and rather than just affecting everything outside of the uterus that endo does, it's the lining of the uterus that's also got some cysts and some painful nasties, but nothing we can't handle. Just add it to the resume. But no, health-wise, doing super well, got back into the gym, just back to work. I think it was 2-3 weeks post-op, to which I then had the cyst, which was super fun with that happening on the bus and not staying home, because I just thought it was kind of normal. Turns out it's not. So my whole listen to your body thing, I need to take my own advice. But no, health-wise, probably going better than ever. It's been a relief after the last 12 months.
I think it would be hard for somebody like you to listen to your body when it's constantly throwing stuff at you. Yeah. And you're constantly, you can't just keep staying home every time. No. You feel a little bit, crap. So you're constantly telling your body, I'm ignoring it. So, it would definitely be harder in your situation to listen to those signs.
It is. But, hey, sometimes I think that's where people with chronic illness do have a bit of I don't want to call it a superpower, because as much as it helps us, it hinders us. But we do, I think, have a bit of a keep on keeping on attitude. Yeah. Just keep swimming, as the famous story tells us.
And another little life update, so again, the last time we did one of these episodes, it was very shortly after surgery. What other life update happened around that time? Yes, well, being in bed with not a lot else to actually be doing, I'll be the first to say that this is how it all came about. Got back on the dating apps. As we know, I've got quite a distaste for them. Well, used to. But honestly, I was actually encouraged by a friend to start, I don't know, maybe putting myself out there a bit more and see what Brisbane has to offer. And where, I guess, this time around I was super, super lucky. I only had to talk to one bloke. And we actually went, God love him, he was super duper patient with me and didn't push the fact, because I was literally telling this guy that I was 7 days post-op and in no position to be dating or going out or anything like that. But, we kept chatting. I sort of said, maybe my first week back at work, see how things go, maybe go out for dinner.
His name is Aiden. We went out for dinner maybe a week or two. So I think it was all together 3 or 4 weeks post-op, also dealing with a ruptured cyst. Really, honestly, I don't do things in halves. Let's go on a date while unwell. Really give them my best. But went out for an amazing first date and dinner, and kid you not, I think I was just doing the math with Court then. I think in the last 5 months we've had 6 days apart, and one was literally because he was unwell. The other was because I was travelling for work. Maybe make it 7 when we were just trying to be nonchalant and cool and not act like we were obsessed with each other. But no, in a very, very happy relationship that's even resulted in a minor engagement. And yeah, just I think for the first time ever, I'm understanding what the saying, if you know, you know, means. So
it's almost like a modern day love at first sight.
It really is. Like it's so funny, right? Like I was a bit worried that, you know, you always have in the back of your mind, oh, this is a dating app. Like, of course, like you're smitten with each other initially until they go and find something better or whatnot. But I think what was so, I don't think I've ever met someone that's so morally aligned, and it was as soon as we both started talking to each other, we were off the apps. It wasn't window shopping. Which is what you've done with all the other like people that you've connected with in the past. You've gone, cool, I've got a connection. I give my all. I'm off the apps. Yeah. Whereas they haven't necessarily done that.
Given you the same respect.
Even when they've entered a relationship with me. Without bringing up too much past trauma. But I think what's really, special about this as well is if 2025 Courtney, especially the Courtney this time last year, when I just fled my home, a relationship, literally had to like buy a car because I had to leave where I was living, which was in a much more convenient spot than where I'd ended up, and literally start my life, it felt like from scratch, with a lot of support, but from scratch. I think if that Courtney could see me now, I think, don't get me wrong, I got through it and came out the other side stronger, but I think it would have saved a lot of heartache had I known what I would find.
So here's a question for you.
Yes.
If you could say one thing to Courtney from 12 months ago, what would it be?
I think that it's okay to believe in love again. I think you can be in the absolute depths of despair and think you'll never find someone, and I just completely reshifted my focus to, well, you know, my career will be like having kids, and my career will be like getting married, moving states can be like my fresh start. I think there was nothing wrong with that because it got me through that point in time. But I think it's been really, I've been really open with, I can say my fiance now, I've been really open with my fiance about the fact that I had absolutely given up, thought it was all a bit of a faff. But so grateful to him and our situation that it's actually taught me, like, no, like, be in the feelings, feel the love, go through tough stuff, whether it's with each other or outside of each other, and know you've sort of got that landing plate when you get back home overnight, sort of thing. So yeah, I'd say it's okay to believe in love again and not shut yourself off, because God, I'm glad I didn't, because I don't think I've actually ever been happier. Yeah, this is the happiest I've seen you since I've known you. It's weird, eh? No.
I have a couple more questions for you.
Okay.
So, how long have you been with Aiden for?
Oh, a whopping 4 months, 4 and a bit months. Yeah.
So, my follow-up question to that is, a lot of people in society in general would say that maybe you're moving too fast.
Yeah.
Like, how do you feel about half of society thinking that way?
Yeah. Look, I think as someone that's been in a long-term relationship, yes, I was quite young, but it did last 5 years. And, you know, my own morals and values as a person is someone that I commit to. The goal is forever. I've never just done it for fun or, you know, I'm the kind of woman that really feels with all my feelings. So the thought of going through a heartbreak just to be in a relationship for the sake of one isn't something that crosses my mind. So I think as someone that's seen both sides, being in a long-term relationship, being in a flat-out toxic one, and now finding my happiness in 4 months with Aiden, my fiance, I just think if there was a rule book, we wouldn't have things like divorce, we wouldn't have things like separation, we wouldn't have, you know, the need for co-parenting or anything like that. I think if there was a rule book and we all had it worked out, it'd be a very different society with everything, just not even with relationships. And I'd say, you were actually making this point to me earlier, like, people don't, and it's actually no one's business really, but people don't see what goes on behind closed doors. I think it speaks volumes that my family and friends have never seen me happier. It speaks volumes similarly that Aiden's family and friends haven't seen him this happy in forever. And he too has come from a background of long distance relationships, where I would just say to people, it can still work. Mine and Aiden have a very mature relationship. Both of us have quite an extensive history of relationships not working out in pretty horrendous fashion. So I think just we have empathy for each other from that perspective. We probably have a bit more broader understanding for people that maybe haven't gone through something like that. If people have the view that we're moving too fast, I'd say, sorry you feel that way, but actually I don't care that that's what you think. I can't care that that's what you think. And that, you know, God forbid I found happiness and the love of my life within 4 months. If we were at, like, you know, if we're engaged now or 10 years down the track, or Aiden and I see this as forever, it's mutually agreed, our morals are aligned, where we do want to get on with our life and do things together, and sometimes marriage comes first, sometimes it doesn't. Again, there's no rule book on that, but that's where him and I align. And
I think, like, society, I guess, has its own rule book, as you like to say. But, and I think I was saying this to you earlier as well, whether you've been together 5 minutes or 50 years, like, I don't know, you can, like, the relationship can still break down. It doesn't matter about, you know, well, if you get engaged at this certain time and married at this certain time and have kids at this certain time, that you're going to be together forever. It's guaranteed if you do it all correctly by society. You can have a relationship break down at any time, like, for any reason. So, like I said to you, nobody else is in your relationship apart from you and Aiden, and you guys are both happy. So
honestly, like, I just think as well, I've seen people be like, look, I'm going to use my own parents as an example. They're married going on 31 years. And my mum is a lot younger than Dad, so again, a very different dynamic, even from an age gap. They're 16 years apart.
Which is not following the rules.
Correct. Dad's a bit of a cradle snatcher, the bloke. But I guess, you know, so that was a bit of a rule-breaking moment. Then, you know, my mum was quite young, but again, a very mature young woman, knew what she wanted with her life. And Dad, I think, just like most blokes, can take a bit longer to figure it out. So by the time my dad was in his late 30s, early 40s, he was a bit like, I've travelled the world, seen the sights, would love a wife and kids. So again, it was two people that came together because they were on the same page, just maybe different phases in life. And my mum said to my dad 3 months into knowing him, like, we'll be getting married. And, you know, within 12, 18, 24 months of knowing each other, there was marriage, kids, houses. Like, and as I said, they're going on 31 years. But on the flip side, I've seen people, as you've said, be engaged for 5 years after knowing someone, been engaged for 3, and then you're attending a divorce party 6 months later. So I just think if there was a rule book, we'd all follow it and be pretty bloody happy, but there's not. You take any relationship's a risk. Anything in life's a risk, but if the risk leads to forever happiness, I can't see why people can't be happy for someone for that.
Exactly. 100%. And now we have a fiance.
Now we have a fiance. Now we have a maid of honour. We're full wedding planning. It's happening because, again, I guess what's going on in each other's lives as well. Sick parents, grandparents, all the things. I think Aiden and I are both very grateful in this little second lease of life we've both got since meeting each other. So we're also just of the opinion, why waste time?
Yeah. And if you both share this, I think one of the biggest things in a relationship is sharing like life values. And if you guys have that, that's like...
It's actually unreal. We joke that like we could not be more different. Like we could not be more different as far as where we grew up, what we enjoy doing, what we do for work. Like all like he's blue collar, I'm corporate PR girly. Like, you know, he's dealing with cranes, steel, dirt, and I'm like, I broke my nail like trying to put an envelope together.
That's devastating.
I was so devastated. It was all I was talking about to him last night. I was like, that's just disgusting. And he's like, I'm literally covered in cuts and sores and you're worried about that. So like we could not be more different, but we always joke, and even his parents and my parents have actually commented on it. It's incredible, despite some pretty big differences, how much we align. And I think that's just why we work. Like there is a bit of yin and yang, opposites attract happening. But at the end of the day, our morals and values will say something and it's like, oh my gosh, like you're in my head. Like that's exactly what I think of this situation. That's exactly how I would handle that. And I think that's something that when you're going through life, particularly the ups and downs, well, particularly the downs, that's just so important.
Absolutely.
So stay tuned. Who knows what Courtney Squared can be. We might have to do a live episode from the wedding.
Yes.
Just to be
just from the
bridal suite. But
that'd be so cool.
That would actually be cool.
People would tune in for that for sure.
Wouldn't they just? But no. So super. It's been a whirlwind 4 or 5 months. Moving to Brisbane, I'd say is the best thing I've ever done. It was from the moment I'd done it to be surrounded by friends who saw me at my absolute lowest, including yourself, Court, who are now sort of on the other side with me. And just so grateful to have the support, and like I moved up here to change my life, right? And that's what we're doing. So
much.
I've never messed around, guys. I decided in 4 days to move to Brisbane. I decided in 10 days to leave Bathurst, and we decided in 4 months that I'd be engaged. So stay tuned.
We're a happy girl.
We're a happy girl. Who'd have thought, you guys? I said to poor Aiden, I'm like, Aiden, I full convinced myself that marriage wasn't a thing. Told my parents any money they'd saved, treat yourself.
They've spent it now.
They have. It's like, oh, eek. But no, it's super exciting time, new chapter.
We should put like this episode, like just cut you out and put you like next to the last episode that we did.
Looked like death warm up in that. I've actually got clothes on today. And speaking of our clothes, we haven't actually done a full call out for our Courtism t-shirts, but we did. Again, I was laid up with surgery, not a lot to do, so I sort of said to Court, hey, that idea we had for t-shirts, I reckon we do it, but I'll manage it all, and I'll take your credit card number. But no, it's super cool to see that we got such good feedback and reception and orders and all the things from our Courtism shirts. So much. Like, it was pretty cool. So we're just working out a few logistics, but they will be available to order ongoing. We're thinking of having a customizable option where you can have your own ism. I think that'd be pretty cool. So shout out to Brookie actually for coming up with that idea as well, to have your own ism. She's one of our biggest supporters of the podcast, and we're grateful for her. But so just wanted to give a call out for our Courtney Squared Courtism shirt.
Look at the back.
What have you got on? Make good choices. I've got a bit of, it's not that deep, we're living by that at the moment. But you'll sort of, anything we sort of, I don't know, comes out of our mouths, the bizarre things we say, why not print it on a t-shirt?
Exactly.
But no, stay tuned for that as well.
We love all your support, girlies, and any guys listening as well.
Aiden, because I'll make him watch it later. But no, we're super appreciative because we're not consistent. We know that.
We would like to be,
Wouldn't we just? We were the first. I'll give us guys credit where credit's due. Jan to March, we were all over it.
Yeah.
And then literally the week I started in a full-time job, got a boyfriend, and I think you've been to the US. We'll do a recap of Court's 4 months because talk about a lot going on as well. But yeah,
yours is far more exciting, I would say.
Hey,
arguably. We'll see.
Not necessarily relatable.
True.
But no, we just, thanks guys for sticking around, and hopefully we can lock in for the rest of the year.
Yes, let's do some more episodes.
That's right.
All right. That's us for now.
Make good choices.
Courtney Squared out.
Courtney Squared out.